If you want to have a mini PC and want to have some crazy emulation performance, these three are absolutely great machines. But which one is the best one for you? Because when it comes to price range but also specifications, sometimes you're not going to be needing the most powerful one. I think it's particular when you're looking into Windows gaming, there we're having a significant differences between the three machines, in particular when it comes of course with the 12th generation, the i9 and of course the RTX, and recalling it, it was even a 3050 Ti. So let's get some machines out of the way and let's take a close look at the first model over here. So this model is also known as the Super Console X G6. Yeah, they're just slapping a Bata0 drive. That's basically a full Linux operating system with emulators. Did a full review about that, but we can do so much more because it also comes with internal Windows 11 and can play all kinds of cool games. The GTX card is not the most powerful one out there, but it still was capable of running a lot of cool games. So let's take a close look at this machine. The Super Console X G6. It's just an Intel mini PC. Comes with an i9, but it's a 9th generation, in combination with the GTX1650. But it comes also with the Intel HD Graphics 630, 60GB of DDR4 single channel, and later on we're going to be upgrading this to dual channel. They get a very clean look. We have like the on-off switch over here, but the only thing is like we don't have any USB ports. A little bit of a bummer because I really love to plug in the controllers at the front part. On both sides we're going to get ventilation over here, and at the back we do going to get all of the connections, and we do have like some interesting ones. To begin with, we do get a jack out, RJ45 internet, we do get 4 ports USB 3.0, 2 USB 2.0, HDMI, display port and Type C for charging, and we're going to get ourselves the input for the power supply. Okay, so next up let's take a close look at the menu itself. Loading times will take up a couple of minutes, but when loaded up, we're ready to go. Okay, let's start off with some Sega Dreamcast, but not we're going to do this basic resolution with 640 by 480. We're just going to push it up to the full HD just to see how it runs. But with a system with this kind of power, you just need to have like the best, let's say, resolution set to it, because that's what we're going to basically paying for. Okay, so next up some GoldenEye with N64. I put it also on high resolution, something I don't do very often, especially with the cheap boxer, but I'm more like, yo, what the heck, let's push it up all the way to full HD just to see how it runs. You can see some minor glitching in the menu, but it is more like an emulator problem. Let's see how the gameplay in general is. Now we need to figure out which button it is. Alright, so next up I wanted to play some PlayStation 1 with full HD resolution in combination with DuckStation, just to see how it runs and how stable it is. Of course, now we have like such a powerful box that we can play easily games like this on higher resolutions. Pretty damn cool. Okay, so next up GameCube with 720p, just to see how far we can push this bad boy. Alright, so let's see how it runs on 720p. Oh crap, wrong button. I needed to like mess around with the settings because the normal settings were absolutely garbage when it comes to this game and PlayStation 3. Like I say, like the mini PC is going turbo mode now, so basically this thing pushes it to the limit. I'm curious if we can actually play some PlayStation 3 with ray tracing now. In the previous Super Console X mini PC, they had a lot of issues because it was not powerful enough, but with power like this, they should be having no problem whatsoever. Okay, next up, let's slap 2 of the modules in. Let's go for the Kingston Fury. Let's see if Crash is going to be crashing the system. With the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, one of my favorite games to play and to test on here. And yep, when it comes to this particular game, it runs around 50 FPS. The reason why, 1080p, everything setting maxed out. Yeah, this machine is not powerful enough to pull 60 FPS. Dead or Alive time, and let's take a close look with the Dead or Alive number 6. In the beginning, it did have some stutters, but in the overall gameplay, I didn't notice anything. This game has been put to the maximum, let's say, graphic settings, including some anti-aliasing and all the other craziness, just to push it, and so far, just the system seems to be running it without any problem whatsoever, with some minor dips to 55, 56. So when it comes to indie games, some of them are quite, let's say, demanding to the CPU-GPU combination, but this machine is more powerful enough to run most of your indie games without any problem whatsoever. You can just see that it doesn't even hit the 100% on the GPU and the CPU combination, so that is great. But I can tell you that this thing gets quite hot over 70 Celsius with an indie game. Moving on to the PlayStation 2 with 4K upscaling in Windows, and still get those weird lines somehow. But when you're looking at them, you can see that it forces the GPU to 100%. PlayStation 3, amazing. When you're looking at this, very fast loading times. Getting into God of War or PlayStation Portable with the PP emulator, forcing this thing to all settings set to high, in other words 10 times upscaled rendering resolution. Has some choppy image, let's say warning in the beginning, but the overall performance is quite nice. With Dream Windows, I just wanted to check out how far we can push it, so let's go into the 4K rendering resolution, and this seems to be working without any problem whatsoever. Okay, so long story short, if you want to get some Windows gaming going on, yeah, I've noticed that this machine is not the most powerful, but also it lacks power when it comes to like say AAA games. Of course, for this tiny form factor, it's amazing what you can do with it. But for emulation, you do have some great performance. All the way up to PlayStation 3, we can just play without it. Any problems, and not to forget, yeah, if you want to start upscaling, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2, you did notice with 4K upscaling, we did have some problems, so we need to have some limitations there. But still, if you want to play it on 1080p, great performance, and this is maybe one of the cheaper ones, and it can be a great option for you.